And we welcome you to the WrestleMania preview edition of This Is Wrestling. It is the Versage alongside says Zach McGibbon. He's the Zote. He's the Zach of all trades, but it says Zach McGibbon. Zach, are you recovered from our live edition of This Is Wrestling and ready for your WrestleMania preview?
I think I am. I think we've recovered from the over 3 hours we did live. That was a lot of fun. Thank you everybody that did tune in to the live stream and the crazy people that were there from the beginning and listened to the whole 3 hours. That part still blows me away. But and the people that messaged me afterwards, oh yeah, I listened to the thing. It was wild, but it was a lot of fun. I hope people that tune in live enjoyed it. The people that listen on the podcast stream afterwards also enjoyed it. So I decided 3 hours and you decided 3 hours is not enough. And we need more content from This Is Wrestling on This Is OSN. So here we are, WrestleMania preview. Get fired up.
Well, I've folks, I just want you to know, I've taken the role of being a partner with Zach McGibbon very seriously. And I put the hammer down on Zach in this WrestleMania preview edition to try and limit some of the sarcasm. Not all, all, because that, like, we don't want to take away what makes Zach, but try to limit some of the sarcasm and preview WrestleMania with at least a tiny bit of, what would be the word, Zach? I don't want to say seriousness, but take it for what it's worth and try to predict and try to give people a little bit of insight into
a realistic approach.
A realistic approach. Yeah. Like, not just we're going to make fun of it the whole time, but this realistic, here's what we logically think could happen in some of the matches, and then we'll react however it turns out. We'll react accordingly.
Yep. Okay, good. At least that's all I really want. If I can react accordingly to what happened over WrestleMania, then that's okay. I can't make any guarantees. I'm going to try and be as the tone down of the sarcasm. It's going to be very tough, like some of these matches go through. It's like, I'm going to really try. And all I'm going to do, Lee, is I'm just going to tell you what WWE told us as they told us on the programming and the build. I'm just going to lay it out there and I will let the audience consume it however they want. And they could get mad at me. But it's all coming from WWE, and you could call me out on stuff or whatever. I know you want to in some instances. So I feel like I think that's a good way to approach it. And I will do my best, but again, no guarantees.
Even the most robust WWE fan would tell you at this point that there are some things that they're not particularly pleased with.
Yes.
And so I think we have to go in with that mindset, but I would like to, look at almost like if a bunch of really, really educated people were booking this, like you and me, like what would we do in these situations? I think that's fair. And then again, maybe the card blows us out of the water and we come on with a WrestleMania review that's very positive. It's possible.
You see how good I'm doing this? I didn't laugh when you said that.
I'm
really doing well.
And so we will try to do this as we go into WrestleMania weekend. And it is a little bit harder. Sorry, WWE fam, for the way that it's been presented over the last little while. It does become a little bit more difficult, but we're going to do it and at least go through it logically, what should happen in our opinions, as opposed to what might happen. But the card hasn't happened yet, so we don't know. And I do find it a little humorous that Cody Rhodes and some of the other people are like, this is actually a sleeper card. Like, this is actually like a real sleeper WrestleMania, could be good to great. And I will be of the mindset of, okay, I don't believe that, but if you show me that, then I'm good. And I want you to show me that.
Yep.
I hope the WWE shows me and a lot of other people that this is a can't miss card in the future. Night number 1, Zach. We know that things are going to open up with the Vision. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed with Paul Heyman against Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, and LA Knight. It's going to be a 6-man tag, and you will get everybody like they did 2 years ago. Is it 2 years ago now where Jay won? When he opened up the card against Gunther?
Oh, Gunther? That was last year, I thought.
That was last year. That was the last WrestleMania we had.
Yep. It's a whole year ago.
Just seems like 2 with how...
I know.
But we will open WrestleMania up with everybody eating and everybody kind of getting excited and getting on their feet. You look like Michael Cole right now, and I look like Pat McAfee. We'll get to it in a minute. Yep. I'm up on the table, and I'm eating. So what have you thought of the storyline going into this? I'm a little bit confused by it, so I would like somebody smarter than me, like you, to explain to me what they're doing here with the Usos facing the Vision, but also facing MFT the night before on SmackDown.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. I'm trying to, again, as we approach this and trying to approach the storyline here, really this is just put together because you have somebody in I Show Speed who is an internet celebrity, big on Twitch, so I am told. I've seen the memes and the GIFs, so you just have to have him on your WrestleMania card. So he's in the 6-man tag. I think it's just something that they wanted to have an excuse to have these guys come together and have a match, and put the Vision out there. And plus you already have the connection with Logan Paul to I Show Speed being part of the same universe or world of streaming or whatever. So that's how I see this kind of coming together. The way that they've been pushing celebrities wouldn't shock me if it's the Vision and I Show Speed that come up with the victory here. And because really the Vision, the Usos, I don't think anybody would be really sleeping and going, oh man, they lost. Like they'll find a path. I think the Vision needs something here. And I'm going to pick the Vision to get the victory.
I'm undecided. Like I'm 50-50 on this because do I think the Usos have, especially Jay, has gone like this year for him? It is not unfair to say like he was at the very top, winning the Royal Rumble last year, then beating Gunther at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. To see how far he's fallen in the last year, it's a mega slide. Like it's a deep slide to where he is now. Do they care about heating those guys back up? Is there a bloodline storyline coming? Do they care? I'm going to say that they do. And just based on the fact that I think that there's going to be a bigger picture, I don't know if it's going to be the exact bloodline storyline, but that some of Roman's family is going to be involved in a storyline going forward. I'm going to say that they like the pop. They like the eating at the beginning. They like the crowd being hot maybe at the end, and they want to keep the Usos somewhat relevant because they've fallen into obscurity. Like it's crazy how far they have fallen. And with the Vision not being what they were with when Seth Rollins was there and then he's out and Braun Breaker's hurt and Bronson Reed's hurt, I don't think another loss hurts them, and maybe is the reason why somebody like Braun Breaker comes back to save them after WrestleMania, because they've fallen into this losing trap. So I don't really have that good of an idea on who's going to win, but I feel like they're going to keep the Usos hot, get the energy high, get everybody eating, on the first match of Saturday night, and we'll see. But I'm gonna pick the Usos and LA Knight.
Yeah.
I am grateful. This isn't sarcasm. This is like very real. I'm grateful they have buried LA Knight, because all these people that think that LA Knight is some sort of actual main eventer and deserves his spot and he's getting the raw deal, the short end of the stick, you are wrong. He is a mid-card guy at best. And the fact that he's on WrestleMania when a whole bunch of people are not on WrestleMania, I'm glad. I don't want to see LA Knight any higher than this personally. So, all right, we disagree on the first one, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. It is unsanctioned. I wouldn't say like I'm looking forward to I don't have this deep, where's Drew going to go after this? It sounds like he's going off to make another movie. Like, where's Jacob going to go after this? Like, am I worried about his spot in the roster? No. But I am looking forward to the match because I like these two guys. Mm-hmm. And the story hasn't done much for me to keep me involved in why I would like one guy to beat the other. But I enjoy watching both wrestlers. And to me, it's still WrestleMania, and it's still two guys that have a spot that want to be able to do something in an unsanctioned match. I feel like they're going to press the boundaries a little bit. So this is a match that will not have me turning away. I think Jacob Fatu is going to win because the same reasons I think the Usos are going to win. That they're going to keep him on. And I don't know if Drew's going away or not, but after he lost the title and he was in the title picture, he had the title, and then he was completely gone from the title picture. He doesn't need to win here. So I'm going to pick Jacob Fatu in this unsanctioned match.
I'm also picking Jacob Fatu. The story, I mean, technically you could say the story's been going on since Fatu got involved in the cage match there between Drew and Cody. So there is something there, but like what you said, it's not really been knocking my socks off. Compared to a lot of the other stories, it's a godsend, but it did what it needed to do to get into this position. It's an unsanctioned match, so you know there's going to be a guy spearing another guy through a barricade spot. A spot we have never seen before in the WWE.
See, this
so I'm really like looking forward to that. Sorry. It was in my head, and I'm like, I have to mention this. I want it on record. There will be a barricade spot, and I can't wait for it when it happens, and we'll all act so shocked and when it happens. But I'm looking forward to the kendo sticks. I'm looking forward to the chairs. Maybe a table will be involved. I'm sure there'll be an announcer table spot too. So looking forward. Look
See,
forward to this.
It took you all of a match and a half to do this.
No, I'm looking for. Look, I think these two are talented enough. I think they'll be able to do it in the construct. But look, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for it.
I know, but look, in an unsanctioned match, if I said to you that Darby Allin was facing Gabe Kidd, it's unsanctioned, and they're going to do the barricade spot, and they're going to do an announcer table, and they're going to be up in the stands, and they're going to go through the concessions.
Yep.
It's the same.
Well, it is either Jacob Fatu or Drew McIntyre taking a back bump onto steel steps, like not looking at it. Then you got me hooked in. Then I'm locked in. All right. But
it's the same. It's exactly the same. So will they be bleeding? Will it be the same intensity that you would see in that match? Or are we just going through our checklist of like, all right, barricade spot, that's number one. Oh, announcer table spot, that's number two. No, they're going to bleed. They're going to bleed.
You think they're going to bleed?
Yes.
I don't think they're going to bleed.
I don't think anybody else on night one besides the main event. No, I could see this being like I do think they're going to bleed.
Okay.
I'm not going to.
I don't think so, but
all right.
Hey, look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll go out there and it's going to be an intense match and and all that. Maybe I trust me, I want to be wrong in this, but I've seen. I'm all right. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop the sarcasm.
Thank you.
I'm going to
Thank
lock
you.
back in. I'm gonna say Jacob Fatu is going to win. I think he would benefit from it more between the two, and try to establish some more people. So I'm gonna say Jacob Fatu.
Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan will wrestle for the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble. There was the crazy spot where Stephanie Vaquer ran Liv Morgan into Roxanne Perez, and they both had big eggs on their head, and they both were in concussion protocol. Look, I wish they would do way more with some of the other women's wrestlers, and to say that they haven't with Stephanie Vaquer because she's the world champion would be not completely valid, but I still want more out of Stephanie Vaquer. Like, as the champion, I want more. Sometimes her English is in the way of not being able to communicate like others can, but I know that she can go. And Liv Morgan is, for me, one of the biggest stars of the WWE. That's a WWE star. Like, Liv Morgan with her like appeal could go to other places, but Liv Morgan could not hang with other great wrestlers. I expect them to put the belt on Liv Morgan here, but I don't expect a classic because I don't think Liv Morgan has that in her to be able to do with Stephanie Vaquer. So we'll see. I'm hoping Stephanie Vaquer looks good in defeat, and they kind of keep her somewhat strong, but this feels like this is Liv Morgan's crowning moment to me.
I agree. I'm also picking Liv Morgan. It's kind of weird how people just kind of overlook in one of her promos that she said Stephanie Vaquer came out of mud huts from where she was at. And I was like, oh, that's a little bit,
Right.
a little bit out there. But I guess we just ignored that. Fine. All right. But and then she came out with her music video this week. Did you watch the Liv Morgan music video, Trouble? Is it in your Spotify playlist?
It's not in my playlist, but I did see it.
Yeah, gotcha. I think that says it all right there.
I saw it, and then I knew that I needed to know that for the podcast, and that's the last time that I saw it.
Yep, there you go. I wouldn't shock me if she comes out to that song for her entrance, and music video was shot. I was like, wow, this looks like a Christina Aguilera music video from the early 2000s. And
nice.
Apparently it is the same director.
Late 90s, by the way.
Late 90s?
When I saw Christina Aguilera, and not at the same time, and Britney Spears at the Markville Mall.
No way.
Yep.
How about
performing at the center of the mall. Genie in a Bottle, Baby Hit Me One More Time for Britney, right when those came out.
Yeah.
Crowded malls in the Markville Mall back then in the late 90s. But yeah, we've come a long way.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
I have to admit it took me way too long to understand the double entendre in Genie in a Bottle. But all that to say, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, she's gonna get the victory.
That pops me, Zach. That popped me. Very good.
Well, hey, that's what I'm here for. If I can't do my sarcasm, I'm going to at least try to pop you.
Yeah.
So I think Liv Morgan's gonna win. I do wonder, like what you said, this is really gonna be a test of her. Can she really step up here in ring?
Yeah.
And I think Stephanie Vaquer, in terms of, is there a certain ceiling that she's at right now because of certain factors of her game, for sure. But I think we both agree she's a solid pro wrestler at the very least. Yeah. And she's somebody that could get to that level. If Liv Morgan doesn't have a good match with Stephanie Vaquer, then, I think we know who she is at this point. So that's going to be my intrigue in this match. Liv Morgan's going to win. We'll probably get another look at the music video, and then it will not be added to my Spotify playlist.
Right. And then Dom and Liv, which, by the way, this isn't sarcasm again.
Yep.
Liv Morgan did an interview saying that her and Dominic have been like one of the best wrestling couples ever. and maybe are the best wrestling couple ever,
Yep.
and like put herself right in the spot of like Randy Savage and Elizabeth. I'm like, okay, Liv, I like you.
Mhm.
I understand. I actually think her and Dom are a little bit underrated as far as one of those couples, but let's hold our horses on putting ourselves in like Macho Man and Elizabeth,
Yeah.
because number one, Liv, everyone knows that Dominic Mysterio has had a wife for a long time and is loyal to his wife. Everyone knows that. So let's start with the basis that we know that you actually don't have a relationship. You can't be you can't be the best couple ever in the history of professional wrestling when you're not even a couple.
Right.
Like you see some of the other ones, like for me, like I'm trying to think of, certainly back in the day of Tammy Sitch and Chris Candido, I think were, a really good couple
Mhm.
through.
On screen, off screen, very different. But
Yeah,
yes, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
agreed. Off screen, not so good, but
Yep.
like they were a real couple on and
Yep.
off TV. And I think that just shows sometimes. Like people know that there's some reality to it. So anyway, I'm like you. I want to see Liv Morgan step up to the wrestling when it comes to Stephanie McCurr and see if she can um, be a champion that can go and make other people better. I really wonder about that, but we'll see. I do think she's going to win. Becky Lynch, AJ Lee for the women's intercontinental title. What do you think with this one?
I think Becky Lynch is going to get the belt back. I don't see this being a longer run for AJ Lee. I think this is just kind of a short run to get a Mania match, and they had been building this feud for a while. I could see this as a blow off between these two, and then you get the belt back on Becky Lynch for that Intercontinental Championship belt. I need to see a lot more from AJ Lee in this match if she's going to be in this spot. I I still am, mystified when I was seeing some of the reviews for their previous match. I'm like, did the tape switch out on us, Lee? Maybe we saw a different version. I think that AJ Lee needs to show a lot more. And again, this is an opportunity, big spotlight here to be able to do that. And I want more out of Becky Lynch as well. I think Becky's kind of been in this sort of spot over the last little bit, and I'd like to see her get back to being that big star that we saw in 2018, 2019-ish, being on top of the business and finding that confidence again, because I really am not feeling it with this character. So I think Becky Lynch is going to get the belt back.
I do too. I want to see more out of both of them.
Yep.
Um, I want it to be a match I'm interested in, and both women do not have the level for me that I'm interested in. So, can they get there? I go in with my doubts, but I do think longer term that Becky Lynch having that belt and having other challengers and having that belt means something still. It means more around the waist of Becky Lynch trying to make that title. And so I agree with you. I do think Becky Lynch is going to be the women's intercontinental champion once again. Sticking with the women, the third women's match here that we're talking about in a row, we got the Irresistible Forces. Nia Jax and Lash Legend, the champions, going up against Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. We got Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
There you go.
And I guess the Bellas are still involved.
As of now, yeah, as we're looking at it,
I don't know. Like, Nikki's been hurt. Is she cleared? I don't know. Like what they're gonna do if she's not, but they're waiting to the last minute, if so, because they have not been involved at all here going down the stretch.
Yep.
Like they were. And this whole like Brie Bella coming back and the people going crazy and the Bellas are back, it's really just kind of fizzled out real quick.
Yeah.
So I like in the media this week, Charlotte Flair has talked a lot about that she's needed to be in the spot that she's been in. I've loved to hear some of the things from Charlotte Flair about, going through her personal life and trying to be perfect all the time and not realizing that she didn't have to be perfect all the time and could let some of the facade drop. Because she definitely had that. She's not coming across as a wrestler like she is in person. And I think the team with Alexa Bliss has really helped her. She's talked about how much it's helped her. In saying that, I think this is time to heat Charlotte back up instead of them having another run with the tag titles. I think it's time for Charlotte Flair to get back in the singles titles. I really do.
Yep.
So I'm going to pick the champs to retain Nia Jax and Lash Legend in this match.
I'm also going to too. If that doesn't happen, I'm not going to lose sleep over who's going to get the women's tag team championships.
I'm
just the way that they've been pushed.
Eager to see which match you're going to lose sleep on.
Yeah.
As we come up, I'm eager to hear that answer. But
there is one match I won't say I'm gonna lose sleep on, but I'm like, oh, this could go either way, and I'm interested to see where it goes. But yeah, this one I'm like, they're on the card and they're here, and it's 4-way women's tag team champion. I'm really trying here, Lee. I have honestly tried.
Well,
it's just tough. So
okay, we're both picking the champs to retain in the women's tag. So let's get to Seth Rollins and Gunther. This has been a very big letdown from the Gunther perspective, especially because Rey Mysterio has come back. And if their plan was that Gunther was going to wrestle Rey Mysterio and retire Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio was like, no, I'm hurt. I can't do this. Actually, I'd love back in WrestleMania, and gets himself back into the Intercontinental ladder match on night 2. And they had no plan for Gunther after retiring AJ Styles and retiring John Cena. Man, oh man. From what they had to work with after that and having no plan B, I think they've pivoted as best that they could, getting Seth Rollins and Gunther in a spot where I actually care about both guys a little bit to see what they're going to do. I'm worried that Seth Rollins is going to win this match. In no way, shape, or form should he. So I'm going to pick Gunther based off the fact that they have bigger plans for Gunther. They dropped the ball after the Royal Rumble into WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to drop the ball. At least they're going to put him in the forefront coming up in the summer. And there's no way that Gunther should be losing logically to Seth Rollins coming off the injury list. So I don't know what the plan is here. And Paul Heyman's kind of involved. And like, is Gunther a Paul Heyman guy? I don't know. Like, there's some intrigue there. I'm interested in how they're going to get there. So I'm going to pick Gunther based off the logic that there's no way he should be losing to Seth Rollins.
I'm also going to pick Gunther. It just makes sense for it to do it. And I know I'm saying that and nothing makes sense in WWE right now. So I'm really going out on a limb. But I think it just makes a lot of sense for it to be Gunther and just to continue his momentum. Seth's one of those guys that he could take the loss, I think, the way that he is pushed to the company. I think these two will have a good match. I've said my piece about Seth. I think he's a little bit overrated in a lot of people's eyes, personally. I think he's a very good pro wrestler, but I don't think some people try to compare him to some of the elite level workers, and I just don't see it with him. And there's so many things that I find lack in his game. I'll say this. I think Gunther is the much better professional wrestler than Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So having said that, though, Seth Rollins can go out there and have a good match. So I think these two will go out there and have a good match. Whatever happens afterwards happens, whether it be, Paul Heyman is going to be aligned with Gunther or whatnot. But
that is the question. Like, we're both picking Gunther, but to me, this is one of those matches where you ask, where does it leave both guys afterwards and where are they going to go?
Right.
I don't know that they're going to get right to Gunther and Brock Lesnar. Are they going to do Gunther and Obafemi maybe on the way to Brock Lesnar? Is there somebody else out there for Gunther? I'm not sure. And then for Seth Rollins coming back, if he does lose, what's he doing? Like, how does he get back up on the horse into the main event picture?
Well, there's a Braun Breaker program looming as well. So,
do you think we get some interference by Braun Breaker in this match?
If he runs into this match, Lee, he runs in and spears Seth Rollins, I might throw something in this room. And I might just
really,
we could have had Braun Breaker this whole time, something that was already built in with him being gone, but you were like, oh, you have more story to tell because you're a storytelling company. Oh, we need to tell more stories, more chapters in the story, and we're gonna throw Braun Breaker in. We're gonna have him run in to the match where it's like this is the pro wrestling match on the show, and he's gonna run in and spear Seth Rollins because we have a story to tell. Lee, I'm gonna throw something at the wall. So I'm hoping it's just a Raw after Mania deal where he seems dejected and Braun Breaker takes advantage of a dejected Seth Rollins and spears him, and that sets up the new program.
There is another way to go here. And if the other way to go is that if Seth Rollins beats Gunther, and maybe Braun Breaker comes in and actually costs Gunther the match. Seth Rollins is set up pretty well at that point.
Mm-hmm.
A Gunther Braun Breaker feud isn't horrible.
I don't hate the feud itself, yes.
And it would set Seth Rollins up to be back in the world heavyweight title picture, whoever wins with CM Punk or Roman Reigns. I could be talked into Braun Breaker coming down to involve himself, at least giving us a full explanation of to where other guys, like where they're all going afterwards. I don't think they should do that because I think they need to keep Gunther as hot as possible after they've dropped the ball the last few months.
Yep.
But if they wanted to have Braun Breaker come down and Paul Heyman's kind of aligned with Gunther and he owes him a favor, it seems like that favor is leading to Brock Lesnar, but maybe Paul Heyman's like, I don't need to give you anything. I'm with Braun Breaker and he just kicked your ass. And Gunther becomes kind of the face badass.
Yep.
It's intriguing anyway. I'm going to pick Gunther, but I see the other side of Seth Rollins winning this match. I really do.
Yep.
The Cody Rhodes, there's just so much to say, isn't there?
Yes.
Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton for the undisputed WWE Championship. By the way, the undisputed championship that's being held on Saturday night because the other guys are going for the bigger title on Sunday. But that one's undisputed.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee in the corner of Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes destroyed the Pat McAfee set to go get his title back. We've talked at length about the involvement of Pat McAfee and how everyone thinks it's a bad idea. I guess I want to get your take on the fact that the WWE, rightly or wrongly, has fully leaned into this. They are letting people talk. Cody Rhodes saying it's the worst sort of angle. I want to get exactly what he said. Called it one of the worst things that's ever happened as far as going into a WrestleMania match, like one of the worst builds ever.
Yeah, the most ill-received thing in the history of wrestling is what he said.
The most ill-received thing in the history of wrestling. So they're fully leading into this, Zach. The question is, and I want you to answer this somewhat seriously, are they going somewhere with leaning into this or are they just leaning into it because they got such a bad reception?
Maybe a little column A, a little column B. I do think there is a plan for this afterwards. I do think they want to continue this. But I also think they realize this is not exactly getting the reception that I don't know if they were looking for. I don't know what they were looking for, but I don't know what they were intending with this, but they're just leaning into it and they're talking openly about it. I watched a clip of Cody Rhodes on Shane Gillis's podcast, and and they're comedians, and they're like, "So try to explain this to me. Like, what's the story going in?" And Cody having to sit there and try to explain the Pat McAfee involvement in his story,
Mm-hmm.
and the comedians laughing about it. Not a great look. I mean, look, I will just relay what they told us on the screen.
Okay,
I'm not,
I will interject that if Orton does lose, that Pat McAfee is done with the wrestling business for good.
yeah, which I think that's a telltale sign that he's winning. Randy Orton's winning. Because if they're going to continue on with a tag match afterwards, Pat McAfee will have to be involved in that. So that's a telltale sign to me that he's winning. But just to kind of let people in on what the story has been for this feud. No shtick. This is just what WWE has told us, right? So initially they had Randy Orton turn heel and he beat up Cody on the steps. They had him bleed and he takes the chair shot and the crowd cheered because they saw a moment and they didn't boo the guy. Am I wrong or am I right in this?
You are correct.
So the problem at that time was, well, is it a good idea to do a heel Randy Orton because he's going for his 15th world championship and the crowd is cheering for him? How do we try to adjust this? Then Pat McAfee comes into the fray and all of this and totally blows up the storyline of there's two people that have been connected with legacy and now all culminating together at WrestleMania. Now Pat McAfee has shown up and he has told the crowd that the ticket sales are low. He doesn't understand why the ticket sales are so low and Randy Orton is here, even though Randy Orton is in one of the main events of WrestleMania, which would lead to, I would assume, the tickets being so low. And then there's some shoot promos going back and forth. And Cody saying, look, forget that story. Here's what we're talking about here on that same SmackDown when Pat McAfee returned. And then on the next week's SmackDown, Pat McAfee said night 2 is ass. And I do not recommend buying tickets to night 2. And here's a discount code for night 1 because we also cannot sell tickets for night 1. Somehow it has devolved from how is this program going to work between Cody and Randy with people booing Randy to the company sucks, the television sucks, nobody's buying tickets. Also, it's expensive, so you can't afford the crappy product. Get into it, get fired up. Like, that's the story coming into this program. Like, I don't know what else I can really say.
Where do you think they're going with that, though?
I think they're just leaning in, trying to get some buzz, and I think they want to continue this storyline into Backlash, ironically called Backlash, so that they could do the tag match afterwards, and they could continue to have Pat McAfee get all this heat, right? Like, that's where I think it's going. And
I hate to do this to you, but I think it's at least a realistic question.
Yep.
Do you think that there's a point that Jelly Roll comes down and actually turns on Cody Rhodes and Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll and Randy Orton stand tall?
I think there is absolutely a chance of that happening. I don't want to think about it because I'm trying to stick to your rules and your guidelines here, and I'm doing my very best. And we still have a ladder match coming up, and this is going to be very tough. So this is really tough for me right now. But I'm sticking to your rules and your guidelines. I'm coming down this path. Yep. I'm going to say, yes, I think there's a possibility in that. There's also the possibility that Jelly Roll runs down to help Cody Rhodes, but ultimately is unable to. Or they could save the Jelly Roll involvement again for Raw after Mania so that they could set up the tag team match. But could Jelly Roll get involved? Absolutely. That is absolutely a possibility. You cannot rule it out at this point.
So you think Randy Orton is going to be the champion for the 15th time?
Yes.
Yeah, I also think that that's true. I think Randy Orton probably wins. I think where I'm coming from this, I started out, this isn't me being sarcastic or anything else.
Yep.
I don't want Randy Orton in the main event scene. And when Randy Orton ironically was on Pat McAfee, and he's like, "Oh, you're in great shape," and he's like, "Well, I haven't picked anybody up for 20 years." That was supposed to sell us that he's now going to turn heel and be in the main event and win Elimination Chamber and be in the main event of WrestleMania. Like, we started at a bar for me that was terrible.
Yeah. Randy Orton is challenging for the belt at WrestleMania. Like, even after all the like that's
like
happening.
Scrape all of the side stuff away. And people are like, "Oh, we just wanted Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes." I'm like, "Did you?
Did you really?" Like, I know Ari Emanuel came in and did his thing supposedly. I'm still not buying that 100%. It's not like Triple H was writing, Gone with the Wind on his programming or anything like that. I'm still kind of iffy on that, but it wasn't an enticing program either. And you could tell because, again, the crowd was cheering for the heel turn when it happened. So, anyways.
All right. Well, we will start Randy Orton. And that is the end of night one. Will we do a show on Sunday before night two? Well, that's an interesting question, depending on hockey playoffs and everything else.
Yep.
So let's get to night two. And I think the match that is going to start night two, I think they've announced this, is the match that some people are looking forward to the most in all of WrestleMania. And that is Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. What about this match has made it so intriguing to you and some of the other fans that feel this way?
Well, I was just going to say, my hand is raised on that. I'm included on looking forward to this matchup. I like it because it's just two guys that want to show that they're better than each other. They're beating each other up all over the place. Just the sight of each other, they want to beat each other up. So good. Even Triple H has to get involved in this. And, they were doing the contract signing, and Triple H is like, "Oh, like, this is such a big contract sign. We need the head honcho of Triple H to stand there as well." And he did absolutely nothing in that. So good on you, Paul. Glad you got your TV time. But look, they were beating each other up, and people want to see, it's also because it's a new guy that's in the mix, and he's taking on one of the top stars. And so there's an intrigue there of like, can this new guy beat one of the established guys that's known as an ass kicker? And I saw a lot of people praising the Obafemi promo. I didn't think it was like an elite level promo, but for considering the spot, I thought it was a good promo. Had some passion in it, and I thought it was solid.
And to your point, I think the bar is really low. He came from NXT. We haven't really seen him. He's doing the stupid dance, and like, I guess I just didn't expect very much. Yep. And so when he said the promo, I'm like, okay. Like, again, it's not Punk and Roman. It's not some of the other guys, but for the spot that he's in, it's like, okay, he's there. And I heard some people just saying, strap the rocket to this guy. And he literally, like, the best example, I hate to do this to you, but the best example was Hulk Hogan. Coming back in, didn't do much to get a title shot, beat the Iron Sheik, and then went crazy and was never great.
Yep.
In the ring, but he was big. He beat people up. He could come back. He had the charisma, and Obafemi's got that kind of it factor right now. So then the question becomes, do you strap the rocket to him and put him in these big spots? So what do you think is going to happen?
My heart wants to say Obafemi. This was the match where I'm like, this could make me, really lose some sleep here.
Yep.
Because my heart says Obafemi. But I hear Paul, the way he talked, I'm talking Heyman, talk about the match and like, this isn't a prediction, this is a spoiler. And him talking about how, it felt like he was laying the groundwork of he's going to lose, but he's going to be valiant in defeat because he took on Brock Lesnar. And hey, my door is open whenever you want to come in and see me, because I see the talents in you. You just won't be as good as Brock Lesnar. And I heard Paul Heyman saying that. And I'm like, oh, I'm worried they're going to make him lose, Lee. I really am. I'm going to go with my heart. I shouldn't. I should be going with my brain here and going Brock Lesnar. But man, like when I do these prediction shows, Lee, I don't go with my brain sometimes, as you could tell. I don't go with my brain sometimes. I go with my heart, and I'm like, this is how I feel it should go. And I feel it should go Obafemi. And I'm going to stick with Obafemi because I feel like it's the right move, because it just feels like it's the right time, you know? And I really don't think Brock would lose anything if he lost to Obafemi. If anything, like we saw when he would take a loss, he just lose his mind. And like I said earlier, if he goes back out there on Raw and F5's Michael Cole, like I saw a few years ago, then I'm in. I'm banging the desk and like, all right, we're back in. And just like that, he's still hot. So I'm gonna go with Obafemi. My brain is telling me Brock Lesnar, but I'm just gonna go with Obafemi because that's what they need to do. And Paul Levesque going out on that little interview with Joe Tessitore being like, there's no backups to CM Punk. There's no backups to Cody Rhodes. And I'm like, you're the booker. Make some backups. Get some guys. What do you mean no backups? I know he's trying to say like, oh, there's such unique talents, but of course it's Paul and can't explain himself well because he sucks. So he's saying there's no backups to these guys. Well, make some backups. Here's your opportunity to make some guys. So do it. Don't get this. To me should be a straightforward result. So I'm going to go with Obafemi.
I don't have much to say on this one other than I'm also going to pick Obafemi.
Oh, okay.
And it's against what I think should happen or could happen. But I'm like you. I think that the star has come so quick. Don't hold the star down.
Yep.
And if you give him a win over Brock Lesnar on this stage, he's a massive star. And you can continue to use him as a big star. I understand if he loses to Brock Lesnar, that maybe he gets the win back over the summer, or even is the one that retires Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. And then you could have Obafemi and Gunther go at it later because they've both retired guys, which I actually think is the better path.
Yep.
For Obafemi. But I also think they're desperate on making new stars, and they feel like they have with Obafemi and Javon Evans and who am I missing?
Trick Williams.
Trick Williams. Yeah, Trick Williams. And I don't think they're gonna drop the ball on any of those guys. I think they want to push them to the moon, and they're on the way to doing it. And I think Brock, if he's actually going to leave the business here in a few months, he wants to leave it better. I believe that out of Brock. So I'm also going to pick Obafemi.
All right.
Well, let's get to Javon Evans, because he's part of the 6-pack ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Zach, Penta, the champion, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, and J.D. McDonough. Even you can't crap on the fact that this is a pretty good lineup for a 6-man ladder match. It's a good lineup. It's a good lineup.
It's a good lineup. Good lineup.
And I do know my first prediction is that Rusev destroyed everybody on Monday Night Raw. Destroyed them all. Left them all laying. Yeah, he's not winning.
No.
So I don't know. Like, I'm a little bit higher on it than you, that I think that this got the capability of being entertaining. Like, after 20 minutes, I think I can be entertained by all of these people. It'll be your typical ladder match. I don't think anything's going to be different and unique, and they're not going to do anything crazy, but I do think that it's going to be entertaining. I'm looking forward to who you're picking.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not going to do my sarcasm bit. I'm going to stay, realistic, focus down the middle. You know how I feel about ladder matches, so I'm not going to repeat it here. Sure. I'm going to say Javon Evans wins. I think it makes sense for if we're going to go full bore with trying to get this next generation over, let's do it. I say Javon Evans should be standing on top of that ladder with the Intercontinental Championship, and let's go. Let's do some stuff with these guys, and let's have them win.
You just stole my pick because
Yeah.
we just said if Obafemi and Trick Williams and Javon Evans are going to be the next guys, and that's your plan, then go ahead with the plan.
Yep.
Javon Evans is one of those guys when he comes to the ring and comes to an arena, I want to see him. He's got a natural kind of gift. He's got a little bit of that it factor, and they call him bouncy. He flies higher and does things that other guys simply cannot do. And that's intriguing. I hope they don't, I hope they get him in there with some other guys that can go to teach him more than just being bouncy. But I think he's the next generation. He's the next star. So as you said, why would you hold it down and give the belt to Dragon Lee? That makes no sense. Giving it to Rey Mysterio? I don't know. You really wanted to have Dominic come back and have a feud with his dad and end it? I could see it. But Rey Mysterio is my second pick because I do think they're going to go down the road. I think Rey Mysterio pulled out of the match with Gunther because he wants to be retired by Dominic Mysterio.
I can see that.
At the end of it. So I'm also going to pick Javon Evans, Rhea Ripley, and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. What do you think?
Has Rhea Ripley had a crowning WrestleMania moment off the top of your head? There hasn't really been one off the top of my head. I mean, she did have the match with Charlotte a couple of years ago. That was a great match, that Rhea Ripley Charlotte Flair match. It's been a while since she's had that women's championship. I'm going to go Rhea Ripley. Why not? I'll go Rhea Ripley. There's a part of me that feels like they could keep the belt on Jade Cargill. They want to move it a little bit more, and they just are doing this match because they want a star power women's match, especially for their title that they want on WrestleMania. But I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley. I think I might be, that might be a hot pick. I don't know, but
no, I'm also going to take Rhea Ripley because gotcha. I really think, Zach, that they need to get back to having top matches. Yep. And Jade Cargill cannot give top matches. So if Rhea Ripley wins the belt and Charlotte Flair comes back into the singles scene and Stephanie Vacour's around and maybe they bring Julia, but I think they need to Io Sky, who's not even on WrestleMania. They need to get back to, they have some really, really good women, put them against each other for the title. And I also think because Liv Morgan's going to be the champion on the other side, and she's not going to give you those great women's matches, I don't think you can afford to have Jade and Liv as your champions. Right. Because you're never going to get a good match. You're never going to get oh my God, did you see these two women go? And that's fine. That's, I guess, why you have two championships. You can kind of split it up, but don't do it on both sides.
Yeah, I agree.
So the logical thing to me would be to put it back on Rhea Ripley. She's been away from the scene for too long. Speaking about Dominic Mysterio, he is going to fight Finn Balor. I don't know about this match. They're kind of heating Finn back up a little bit. I love Dom. Love me some Dominic Mysterio. But hasn't been around, been hurt. That's been a big problem for him as of late. And I don't think it kills him to lose this match. I do think he's going to be in a feud with his father, whether that's in WWE or AAA down the line here soon. But I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to Dom. I'm going to pick Dominic Mysterio. All right. Love me some Dominic Mysterio. Get him back in that Intercontinental title picture. Let's go.
All right. You know how I feel about Dominic Mysterio. I am to say I'm not as high as Lee Versage, I think would
Yeah.
be an understatement. Because I like really good pro wrestling, and I don't think Dom provides that. But having said all that, if I'm just looking at it from a story concept, I think just the way that the story is, it feels like it's one of those deals where Finn Balor's more of the babyface in this, and it just feels like the babyface has to win in this story. And now the demons come back. Lee is the demon going to convulse like he did against Roman Reigns at that Extreme Rules match a couple years ago, where there was the heartbeat and then Finn did this weird like pulsing thing. And it still makes me laugh whenever I see it. I hear the doo doo. Oh, it's just totally killed the demon in one night. It was great. Well, it wasn't great, but it was funny.
Great. Yeah.
It was hilarious though. I mean, just really one of the dumber things you ever see. So now the demon is back. It will be cool to see it at a WrestleMania. I know I kind of crap on the entrances sometimes, but there are cool entrances, and I think that is one of them, the demon entrance.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just look at it from a story perspective, and I'm gonna say I think the babyface wins. I think this is just part of where that arc is going, and it makes sense at WrestleMania. So I'm gonna pick the demon Finn Balor. But this is not me doing a backdoor here. It's just more me saying like I could see Dominic Mysterio winning, like what you said. Just kind of sets him up for something down the line, whether it be something in AAA or, you know, going after the Intercontinental Championship, like you mentioned. But I think in this case, I think just the way that the story is played out, I think Finn Balor is going to get the win here.
Trick Williams, Sami Zayn for the U.S. Championship. Sami just wants to know what he did wrong. Like, what did he do wrong?
I'm also wondering too. Like,
I agree.
Especially with his crowd reactions. I was like, what did he do?
I agree. But I also think if you look at the placement of where Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans are, they're all on the same night. And literally all of them, like Obafemi won't win a championship, but if he beats Brock Lesnar and the other two, I think are going to win championships.
Mm-hmm.
Like the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title and Obafemi beating Brock Lesnar, your three next guys all on the same night. I can't see how Trick Williams loses here, even though I'm really enjoying the what did I do wrong gimmick of Sami Zayn.
Yep. I'm still trying to figure out the Sammy Hogan chants. They don't make sense to me at all. But a lot of things in this company doesn't make sense to me, so I guess it adds up. Out of all the three scenarios between Obafemi, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams, this is the one I'm most certain that their match is going to win, and that's Trick Williams. And so I'm going to pick Trick Williams in this. The way that they've been setting him up, I think it's clear that they view him as a star. I feel most confident in their viewpoint of him being one of their next big stars.
Yeah.
And so I think he's going to get the victory here. But if it does happen where none of those three guys win on Sunday, where either one of Obafemi, Javon Evans, or Trick Williams wins, I think there is a serious conversation about how like Triple H views up and coming talents on his roster and how he feels about the current roster. I really do. I think because there's two messages that can be sent here. There's we're building for the future. We recognize these are our guys and this is WrestleMania and we're putting the rocket strap to them. Or these guys aren't ready yet. We just want to have them on WrestleMania to get their feet wet because we're not 100% confident. And I think that would be absolutely silly if it's the latter. And I will absolutely rip this creative team to shreds if that is where they go. I'm hoping that's not where they go. I'm hoping that they realize what they have here, an opportunity, and they are willing to go forward with the guy. And I would be stunned, quite frankly, if Trick Williams loses this match. So I'm going to say Trick Williams wins.
Which leads us to the main event of night 2, Roman Reigns and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. All right. So for me, this is the match I'm most looking forward to. And I think they've done a decent job at the build. They haven't ruined it with a whole bunch of Pat McAfee's, and
it was close. Punk getting involved and lower the ticket prices, and
Yeah, I think that was Punk just getting involved in the other storyline, but I don't think it's really done a lot to this storyline. Um, they don't like each other, and I think it's clear that they don't like each other. And if they really do like each other, they've made it so it looks like they haven't, or it looks like they don't,
Mm.
which I love. And they've done this. This was one of the more simple builds, and they've done it for a long time. Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, and he said, I'm coming after CM Punk the very next day. And that was that. Like, and it's been this match ever since, and it's going to headline night number 2. So what do you think, Zach?
I don't think I'm as high up on this match as you are, but I am looking forward to this match. I felt it lost its focus in the promos a little bit as it went on, and it was pretty clear that Punk had to carry a lot of it with Roman out of the picture. So I did feel like it lost its focus. I don't want to say it got goofy, but I think it like I said during the live episode, the 3-hour live episode, um, I thought that they were going down this path and they took a little bit of a detour on it, and I didn't really like the detour that they took with this, but then they got it back on track, I thought, with the final promo heading into WrestleMania, the final Raw we saw a few days ago. So I am looking forward to this match. I think these two will go out there and have a very good WrestleMania main event. I think there's still enough juice in the tank for CM Punk to pull out another great match in him. And I think Roman, on a good day with a good wrestler, I think he can certainly be out there and have himself a good match as well. The thing with Roman is I find he gets caught in his, especially since the bloodline stuff, he gets caught in his own style of match, which I just doesn't appeal to me. A lot of the monologues in the ring and just kind of a lot of talking and very little action, I find. And I find he gets caught up in that sometimes. I'm hoping he doesn't get caught up in this. I think that's fine in first. I think Kevin Owens has that mastered of like the right amount of action, but also the right amount of trash talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I am interested in the match. I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm gonna say CM Punk keeps the belt here. Only because if Roman wins, I just don't know. Like I think I have an idea who you're picking in this match, but I'm not confident in that, and I can't be confident in Roman just being on TV a lot over the next little bit to put a championship belt on him. And I feel more confident with CM Punk being in that role over the next little bit and keeping that title in focus. So while yes, it's the World Heavyweight Championship, and I've joked about before how, the other title is called the Undisputed World Championship, even though it's very much disputed because there is another world champion that's on this roster. I'm going to say CM Punk retains.
You think you know me. You think you know me. You think you know me.
You think you know me.
I am going to pick Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick Roman Reigns because I think desperately the WWE needs a turn of direction after WrestleMania. And I think that turn of direction is going to be in the youngsters and then back to a story that they think people can heavily invest in the long term. And that is Roman Reigns on top with his family and some of the things that happened between Jacob and the Usos and the MFT. I think they'll continue along that storyline because it's worked for them before, and they're in a huge mess right now, and they've been in a mess for a while, and I think they need to get out of the mess. And I think they look at Roman Reigns as this, sorry for the pun here, but the pillar, the cornerstone, all the AEW trademark things.
Yes.
But as the guy who can lead them in a different direction, if they put the belt on Roman and they go in that direction, that people will follow and they can turn the tide of everything that's happening. So I think that's going to happen. I would like to see CM Punk topple Roman Reigns for everything. Like it's the corporate Punk now and not the same CM Punk that it was when we all loved him back in 2011 and
Corporate man Punk.
When he was gone. There's still something in me. I thought it was described very well that there are very, very, very few people that have like a true relationship with the audience. And yeah, that was my man Bully Ray talking about it. And he's like, people can get cheers and boos and everything else, but he was saying like a true relationship, the ups, the downs, and you go through it with those people. And I feel like for CM Punk, he is one of those guys. And even people that don't like corporate Punk like me, and I'm way less engaged in CM Punk now than I was previously, but I still think back to CM Punk beating Roman Reigns in the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. This is what he talked about for a very, very, very long time. I would love to see it. So I'm cheering for the guy. I'm really intrigued. I'm cheering for the guy. But my head says that they're going to go with Roman Reigns and go in that different direction. I believe that was 14 matches that we just got through, Zach. And
yes,
you can believe it, in just over an hour. I'll ask you before we go, because we do have to go here fairly soon, but I'll ask before you go, like, it is WrestleMania. We will get some surprises, right? People aren't really talking about any of the surprises that they think they're going to see. Is there one in the holster for you that thinks, hey, like maybe this could happen and that would shock some people?
I haven't really thought about the surprises going into this show. I think maybe I speak for some WWE fans on this. I think they're just kind of hunkering down and just trying to get through this show, which is such a weird thing to say for WrestleMania. But the build has not exactly been strong, as we've outlined. And I think people are just kind of, let's get through these 2 nights and let's see how the company looks after this. And maybe now that after WrestleMania, they go back on a regular path. So I haven't really been thinking about surprises, if I'm being honest, of what could happen at Mania.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a big surprise. I expect Kevin Owens to be back.
Mm-hmm.
And does he get involved with who? Does he get involved with Cody Rhodes and the main event scene? Does he go involved with Trick Williams and Sami Zayn? Where does he go? I think that could be like a major pop and someone that people would be excited to see. I mean, we've heard all these rumors of other people showing up, and there was the Tom Brady rumors for a while, and my best guess is Kevin Owens. Like, as far as somebody that we're really not talking about, that I think could be there. And I also think you're going to see, like, is this, or maybe the next night, like Bianca Belair's got to come back
at some point.
But, like, people were picking her to win the Royal Rumble, and she was not even in it, and she was like the favorite. And it's been a finger injury. It's been a year. Like, she's got to be back soon. So does she show her face at WrestleMania? Does she show the next night after WrestleMania at Monday Night Raw? But I feel like those two, not a ton of people are talking about, and we're on the verge of seeing them again. And if you wanted to put Bianca Belair back and cost Jade Cargill the title and then get involved in a feud with that and then have Bianca go on to face Rhea, like, I'm there for that. So those are two that I think we're going to see. We did it, Zach.
We did it. How would you evaluate my performance on limiting the sarcasm?
It was
hit or miss.
It was mediocre.
Mediocre. Look, trust me, this is the best you're gonna get from me.
I know.
When it comes to,
but that's the thing, Zach. I know that, and the listeners know that. But the WWE staunch fan right now is like, we're gonna turn Zach around. Saturday and Sunday, WrestleMania. We're gonna turn this all around. They'll be the ones coming in on the next live This Is Wrestling saying, I told you, Zach, I told you not to be so down on this product.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they will.
You can hear it, folks.
Look, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. We're gonna get through. Again, just we're gonna look at these 2 nights. We'll get the shows in. I am excited for this show, as in this is wrestling. The next shows, how it's gonna look. I think that will be a lot of fun. But we'll see what WrestleMania brings us. Is what I will say to that.
Enjoy WrestleMania, folks. Saturday and Sunday. We might even, depending on how we're feeling, on Sunday morning, give you a quick review of night number 1, but we'll see. If not, we'll get to you at the beginning of next week, maybe even a live edition of This Is Wrestling right after. So lots to come this weekend, some playoff hockey, WrestleMania. It's a great time to be a hockey fan and a wrestling fan. Zach, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy WrestleMania as much as you possibly can, and we will talk to you very soon. Your WrestleMania preview show. Versage, Zach McGibbon here on This Is Wrestling.